more information on the target of this attack? What have you found out?
First of all, the casualties of this one were really heart-wrenching. One mother lost 4 of her 5 children, and her husband was gravely injured. This was a wedding. The groom is the nephew of a Kurdish member of parliament. So this was a big political affair in the city. In one of its big wedding halls, the dancing spilled out onto the street. And according to people I talked to in the city, this is where the bomber struck, which is why it could be that so many children died in the attack. They were outside. The bride and groom survived. The early reporting of this was that it was a child suicide bomber. And Turkish authorities said that earlier in the attack, and then they walked that back. They're now saying they're not sure who it was, how old that person is, and who actually did it.
Now, at first, the Turks said that ISIS was behind this. If that were the case, why would ISIS attack Kurds in Turkey now?
There's no one in the city who doesn't think that it was ISIS in the calls I made today. And what they think is it is payback for the capture of Manbij. It's a city on the Syrian side of the border. It was controlled by ISIS. In fact, it was the capital of their smuggling operation. This is where they stored their big earth movers to get at ancient artifacts, for funding. And it was a Kurdish militia that played the central role in the recent capture of Manbij. They also had American air power. They kicked ISIS out, and it was seen as a major defeat. So it appears that ISIS decided to take the fight inside Turkey's southern border. There may be some complex messaging going on here because this was an attack on a Kurdish wedding, so it could be an attempt to drive Turks and Kurds further apart. There were protests in the city from Kurds saying the Turks didn't do enough to protect them at this wedding.
You know the area. Is Gaziantep, is the city where this happened, is it an especially volatile place?
You know, Robert, I used to go before the Syrian uprising, and it was just the opposite. Before the war, this was a Turkish city where Kurds and Turks lived in relative harmony. The Syrians crossed the border to shop. Kurds make up about 1/3 of the population. The economy was dynamic. Money makes harmony